Assalamualaikum et bonjour. In this clip, we are going to learn few useful expressions when talking or telling people about our family and relatives. We are going to learn how to give personal information and also describing them. There will be few points that we are going to focus on. Okay, the points are: the first one is learn asking who is it. Second, learn asking one's age. Learn asking about siblings, family, and relatives. And lastly, describing them. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, this will be our first point. Okay, to ask who is this or who is it. So you have here C. Now we have seen C. Okay, previously C means it is. Okay, so C comes from se and e. Right, so this is it. This is. C is, it is. Okay, so previously I've mentioned that there are three ways or three variations of asking questions. Okay, you can put WH at the beginning of the question, you can put at the end of the question, and also there will be an inversion, subject and verb. So let's see these questions. Okay, let's look at this question. Alright, the first one is c'est qui. Okay, qui. This is pronounced as qui. C'est qui? Qui c'est? Qui est? C'est qui? Qui c'est? Qui est? Well, S here actually comes from se and e. It's the same thing like C. Alright, if you look closely. Alright, how do we answer to these questions? Well, it's very easy. You use C again. Okay, so you say, c'est moi Lily, it is me Lily. C'est mon ami, mon ami. That will be the link there. There's a link there. A liaison. Mon ami. C'est mon ami. Again, this E is silent. C'est mon, like you have a G. Mon cousin. Okay, for both, like you have a G. C'est mon cousin. C'est ma cousine. Stress at the end, the letter N. So I repeat again. C'est moi Lily, it is me Lily. C'est mon ami, it is my boyfriend. C'est mon ami, this ami is my girlfriend. C'est mon cousin, it is my male cousin. C'est ma cousine, it is my female cousin. Now let's move to the next one. So you have here, c'est ton père, c'est ton père, c'est ta mère. E here is silent. C'est ton père, c'est ta mère, c'est son oncle. Okay, there's a liaison there. C'est son oncle. Right, now c'est votre tante. C'est Antoine. C'est Antoinette. I'll repeat that again. C'est ton père. C'est ta mère. C'est son oncle. C'est votre tante. C'est Antoine. C'est Antoinette. What does it mean? Okay, let's look at the meaning. It is your father. It is your mother. It is his or her uncle. Well, song here can be his or her. Well, if you don't remember how to use the adjective possessive, you may refer to my clip. Well, there are two clips entitled Possessive Adjective Part 1 and Possessive Adjective Part 2. Right? So next you have c'est votre tante. C'est Antoine, c'est Antoinette. So Antoine here is a guy and Antoinette is a girl. Right, let's move to the next next one. Okay, this is to ask one's age, right? In chapter 2, you have learned the verb avoir. Okay, when telling people our age, okay, we have to use this verb avoir. Okay, so you have the avoir here, 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 and here. Okay, all this comes from the verb avoir, and avoir here means to have. Well, in English you say I am 20 years old, but in French you say I have 20 years old, right? Okay, now let's look at these questions and answer. You have the first one. Okay. Tu as quel âge? Tu as, as is silent. Quel âge? Les onglets. Tu as quel âge? Quel âge as-tu? Quel âge as-tu? Quel âge? Les onglets. Est-ce que tu as? I'll repeat that again. Right, you have tu as quel âge? Quel âge as-tu? Quel âge est-ce que tu as? So, well, when we translate the question, it means, in English it means, how old are you? But literally it means, okay, it means, you have which age, right? So, well, it means, how old are you? And you answer with, j'ai 12 ans. And j'ai 12 ans means, I am 12 years old. But literally it means, I have 12 years of age. Okay, so let's look at the answers. So we have the first one, j'ai 12 ans. J'ai 12 ans. There's a link there. J'ai 21 ans. Right? I repeat that again. There's a liaison there. J'ai 21 ans. Okay, so how old are you? I am 12 years old and I am 21 years old. Right, let's look at vous. Just now we look at tu. Now this is vous. Well, it's pretty much the same. But the difference is you use vous here. If you previously you used tu, the verb is tu as. Okay? It's what we call subject-verb agreement, and a comes from the verb avoir. Well, if you use vous, you need to use avait. Okay? And avait comes from the verb avoir as well. This is what we call subject-verb agreement. Okay? So let's look at the questions here. Vous avez quel âge? There's a liaison there. Quel âge avez-vous? Okay. Quel âge est-ce que vous avez? It means how old are you, but for vous. Right, the answer is, you have two here, two possible answers. You can see j'ai 30. You stress at T. J'ai 30 ans. J'ai 40 ans. I repeat that again. J'ai 30 ans. J'ai 40 ans. I am 30 years old and I am 40 years old. Let's move to the next one. This is for he. Il a. Quel âge? How old is he? Quel âge a-t-il? Okay. And last one. Quel âge est-ce qu'il? Est-ce qu'il a? Okay. I repeat that again. Il a quel âge? Quel âge a-t-il? Quel âge est-ce qu'il a? So the answers are il a 15. Okay, 15 ans. Il a maison. Il a 12 ans. He is 15 years old and he is 12 years old. Alright? This is for the question, how old is he? Let's move to the next one. How old is she? Elle. Elle a quel âge? Quel âge a-t-elle? Quel âge est-ce qu'elle? Elle a quel âge? Quel âge a-t-elle? Quel âge est-ce qu'elle a? Okay, how old is she? So you have two possible answers. Elle a 17 ans. Wow. Look at this closely. Now, elle a 17. The P is silent. 7 ans. Elle a 17 ans. Elle a 60 ans. Elle a 17 ans. Elle a 60 ans. She is 17 years old and she is 60 years old. Right, now let's move to the next one. Next point is to ask about siblings, okay? Asking about siblings. Right, now you have here, tu as un frère. This is brother. Tu as un frère. Do you have a brother? As-tu un frère? Est-ce que tu as un frère? Well, asking, do you have a brother? Un frère. Now, you can answer oui or no. Oui, j'ai un. This is un frère. Stress at the R. Oui, j'ai un frère. Non, je n'ai pas de frère. Again, at the R. No, I don't have brothers. Non, j'ai 3. As is silent, j'ai 3 frères. Okay, no, I have 3 brothers. So, let's look again at the questions and answer. Now you have here, do you have a brother? Tu as un frère? As-tu un frère? Est-ce que tu as un frère? Oui, j'ai un frère. Yes, I have a brother. Non, je n'ai pas de frère. No, I don't have brothers. Non. Remember when you have non at G. Non, j'ai 3 frères. No, I have 3 brothers, not 1. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Again, it's about brothers, but using vous instead of tu. You have here, vous avez un frère. Vous avez un frère? Avez-vous un frère? Est-ce que vous avez un frère? Do you have a brother? So you have few possible answers here. Oui, j'ai 3 frères. Non, remember at G. Non, je n'ai pas de frère. Non, j'ai 2 frères. Right? Yes, I have 3 brothers. No, I don't have brothers. No, I have 2 brothers. Let's move to the next one. Just now you see frère. Now here we have sœur. Sœur. Sœur here is sister. So, tu as une sœur? Okay, this is asking, do you have a sister? Tu as une sœur? As-tu une sœur? Est-ce que tu as une sœur? Well, there are few possible answers. Oui, j'ai une sœur. Non, je n'ai pas de sœur. Non, je n'ai pas de sœur. Non, j'ai 4 sœurs. So, this is yes, I have a sister. No, I don't have sisters. No, I have 4 sisters, not 1 sister. Okay, so this is for vous. Just now we see for tu. This is for vous. Vous avez une sœur. So this is asking, do you have a sister? Right, so let's look at the question. Vous avez une sœur? Avez-vous une sœur? Est-ce que vous vous avez une sœur? Alright, do you have sisters? Do you have a sister? Sorry. So, the possible answers are oui, j'ai 3 sœurs. Non, je n'ai pas de sœurs. Non, j'ai 3 sœurs. Alright, so this means I have 3 sisters. No, I don't have sisters. No, I have 3 sisters, not 1 sister. Okay, now let's move this one. Let's move to the next point to ask about family and relatives. So, tante, une tante is actually this is auntie. Okay, auntie. So you have a question. Does he have an auntie? Sorry, he, right? Because we have here he. Okay, so il a une tante. A-t-il une tante? Stress at a T. Don't forget. Est-ce qu'il? Remember, this is est-ce qu'il a une tante? I repeat that again. Il a une tante. A-t-il une tante? Est-ce qu'il a une tante? Okay, auntie. Okay, the answers are oui or no. You can choose. Oui, il a une tante. Stress at a T. Oui, il a une tante. Non, il n'a pas de tante. Yes, he has an auntie. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have an auntie. He doesn't have aunties. Okay, so now let's move to this one. You have un grand-père. Un grand-père is grandfather. Is asking whether she has a grandfather. So, elle a un grand-père. A-t-elle un grand-père? Grand, like you have G. Elle a-t-elle un grand-père? Est-ce qu'elle a un grand-père? Okay, so does she have a grandfather? So possible answers: oui, elle a un grand-père. Grand. Non, elle n'a pas de grand-père. Right. Okay, so most of the questions and answers are using the verb avoir. Okay, now this is to describe oneself physically. Okay, now let's look at this. You have here beau. Okay, you have a few adjectives here. You have beau, moche, and laid. Beau here means handsome. Moche here means ugly, and laid here means ugly. Handsome, ugly, and ugly. Okay, let's look at this one. It's not right to call people ugly, but we have this adjective, so might as well use it. Okay, so you have il est beau, like this one. Il est beau. Est-il beau? Est-ce qu'il est beau? Est-ce qu'il est beau? Okay, is he handsome? He is handsome. Alright, so you have a choice. Oui, il est beau. Non, il n'est pas beau. Non, il est moche. Non, il est laid. Right? Il est laid. Okay, so just now we have seen a lot of questions and answers are using the verb avoir, but here you have the verb être. And être here means to be. Okay? I am, you are, he is, and she is. Well, let's move to the next one. Well, here you have few adjectives as well. You have belle, this is beautiful. Jolie is pretty. Next you have moche, ugly, and laid. Ugly as well. Well, just now you see laid. Laid is for masculine, for a guy, okay, for he, okay, but here you have she, so you have laid with e. Okay, all right. Now let's look at the questions and answer. So you have, right, elle est belle. Est-elle belle? Est-ce qu'elle est belle? Well, this is asking, is she beautiful or pretty? Okay, this is beautiful now. Elle est jolie. Est-elle jolie? Est-ce qu'elle est jolie? Is she pretty? Now the answers are oui. Elle est belle. Oui, elle est jolie. Non, elle n'est pas belle. Non, elle n'est pas jolie. Non, elle est moche. Non, elle est laide. Stress at the D. Alright? Let's move to the next one, next point. So you have few adjectives here as well. Well, this one is pretty easy. Grand, at G here, grand means that big and tall. So you have grande, stress at the D, big and tall. Remember, adjective you have in masculine form and feminine form. Well, and singular and plural form as well. But here we're just looking at the singular form, male and female. So there are a few variations, do not forget. So for grand you have two. Now you have grand, grande, okay, so big and tall. So you have petit, small, and petite, small. Okay, now let's look at the question and answer. So this asking, is he big? Okay, il est grand. Est-il grand? Est-ce qu'il est grand? Oui, il est grand. Non, il n'est pas grand. Non, il est petit. Right? Now, she, this is ill. Now she, elle est grande. Est-elle grande? Est-ce qu'elle est grande? Stress at the D. Okay, the answers are oui, elle est grande. Non, elle n'est pas grande. Non, elle est petite. Well, listen carefully and you will hear a lot of liaison. Pay attention to that, okay? Let's move this one. So you have few adjectives as well here. New adjective, célèbre. Celeb is not celebrity, but it is famous. So you have inconnu. Inconnu means unknown, okay, not famous. So you have inconnu like this for male, and inconnu written with E for female. All right. So let's look at the questions and answer. Is he famous? Il est célèbre. Est-il célèbre? Est-ce qu'il est célèbre? So the answers are oui, il est célèbre. Non, il n'est pas célèbre. Non, il est inconnu. Inconnu. Well, let's look at she. Elle est célèbre. Est-elle célèbre? Est-ce qu'elle est célèbre? So is she famous? Oui, elle est célèbre. Non, elle n'est pas célèbre. Okay, stress at the B and the R. Non, elle est inconnue. Okay, unknown, not famous. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so you have few adjectives, new adjective. Courageux means brave. Okay, Lash here means coward. So you have a rigid, very strict. Okay, so let's look at the questions and answer. So let's look at this first. Courageux and Lash. So you have ton père. Ton means your. Ton père est courageux. Is your father brave? Ton père est-il courageux? So these three questions asking whether your father is brave. Ton père est courageux. Ton père est-il courageux? Est-ce que ton père, like G, ton père est courageux? So the answers are oui, mon père est courageux. Non, mon père n'est pas courageux. Non, mon père est lâche. Courageux is brave and lâche is coward. Well, it's not nice to say your father is coward. Well, I advise you to use the word courageux to describe your father. All right, let's move to the next one. Mother. Okay, so let's talk about mother. So you have two new adjectives here. You have rigide and also clémente. Rigide here means strict, very strict. Okay, always want things in their ways. Well, mothers always do that. Okay, when here clémente means very merciful, means very tender and gentle. Okay, the opposite of rigide. So let's look at the question. Votre mère, your mother. So you have votre mère est rigide, is your mother strict? So these three questions asking whether your mother is strict or not. Votre mère est rigide. Votre mère est-elle rigide? Est-ce que votre mère est rigide? Okay, rigide. R, the D. Okay, stress at the D. Now the answers are oui, ma mère est rigide. Non, ma mère n'est pas rigide. Non, ma mère est clémente. Okay, clémente means very merciful, very gentle and tender. Okay, right. Let's move to the next questions and answer about uncle, son. Son here, son, like you have a G, an N. Son here means his or her uncle. Gros, you have few here, few adjective. Gros means fat, and mince here means slim. Okay, gros and mince. So let's look at the questions. Is his or her uncle fat? Okay, so that will be the questions. Son oncle. Right, now remember you have here son oncle. Okay, liaison est gros. Son oncle est-il gros? Est-ce que son oncle est gros? Okay, now the answers are oui, son oncle est gros. Oui, il est gros. Non, son oncle n'est pas gros. Non, il n'est pas gros. Non, son oncle est mince. Stress at the C. Non, il est mince. So, two new adjectives here. Gros means fat and mince here means slim. Okay, let's talk about auntie. So you have auntie and few adjectives to describe auntie. Well, auntie here only one adjective to describe her. Chaleureuse. Chaleureuse. Chaleureuse here means warm. Right, let's look at whether his or her auntie is warm. Okay, warm. Okay, so you have sa tante est chaleureuse. Sa tante est-elle chaleureuse? Est-ce que sa tante est chaleureuse? So your answers would be oui, sa tante est chaleureuse. Oui, elle est chaleureuse. Non, sa tante n'est pas chaleureuse. Non, elle n'est pas chaleureuse. If you notice, sa tante here can be replaced with L, just like what we have here. Okay, you have son oncle can be replaced with il. Alright. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Alright, this will be the answer to whether her or his auntie is warm. Alright, so the answers are non. Sa tante est froide. Well, you have chaleureuse. Chaleureuse means warm, and froide here means cold. Okay, the opposite of chaleureuse. Non, sa tante est froide. No, his or her auntie is cold. Non, elle est froide. Okay, she is cold. Cold as cold like an ice. All right, that will be pretty much useful expressions when talking or telling people about your family and relatives, and also this giving personal information about them and describing them. Well, there are a lot of vocabularies that, well, new adjectives. Please remember to practice, and if you have questions, please ask. I'm wishing all of you bon courage, bonne continuation, merci beaucoup et au revoir.